Now we can do a logic game from the LSAT. We're using the June 2007 LSAT that's available as a PDF file for free if you download it from lsac.org. We're doing the very beginning of the test. We're doing section 1, question 1. And we're going to let the nerds teach us about the game as we read the conditions. A company employee generates a series of 5-digit product codes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In accordance with the following rules, the code used the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and no others. Well, I don't know how this game is going to work, and so I'm just going to create a different dimension so that if I need that extra dimension, I've got it. And it doesn't matter if you put the dashes here and the numbers here, as long as you create another dimension to give yourself some flexibility. Each digit occurs exactly once in any code. That simplifies things. The second digit has a value exactly twice that of the first digit. Now I know you're going to law school because you don't like math, but you have to do a little math on this question. If you put a 1 here, you have to put a 2 there. But there's another scenario. You could have 5 digits here, and if you put a 2 here, you put a 4 there. Okay? The value of the third digit is less than the value of the 5th digit. So here we've got a situation that I'll just remind myself that the third is smaller than the 5th, and that's true in both of my scenarios. Because I'm going to let the nerds teach me about the game because the nerds are nice people. Question 1. If the last digit of an acceptable product code is 1, well, it can't be here. It's got to be here. And if that's the last thing, and this is larger than the third thing, it has to be 0. And the only number left is 3. Then it says it must be true that A, the first digit is 2. Oh my goodness, the nerds were nice people. They gave us the right answer in answer A. Well, should we tell nobody about the 4 wrong answers? Because nobody cares. Well, let's tell them, because nobody does care. The second digit is 0. The third digit is 3. The fourth digit is 4. The fourth digit is 0. None of those were right answers, so nobody cares, and now they know that those are the wrong answers. Question 2. Which one of the following must be true about any acceptable product code? Well, remember, we had 2 situations. Do you see which number shows up in both situations? 2 is here, 2 is there. Looks like a must be number, doesn't it? How many answers involve 2? Well, A says the digit 1 appears in some position before the digit 2. Well, didn't the last question tell us that the last digit could be 1? So we know A must not be true. We know the questions are right. And that means that as we go through a game, we want to bubble all 5 of these answers all at once. We don't want to bubble in 1 until we bubble in 5 because we're going to learn about the game. And then as we bubble all the answers as a group, we're going to be more comfortable that we've seen how the game fits together. What's the only other answer with 2 in it? C says the digit 2 appears in some position before the digit 3. Well, it has to happen here, and it has to happen there. They're basically just telling us that 2 is early and 3 is late. And that must be true, and it's answer C. Number 3, if the third digit of an acceptable product code is not 0. Okay. Third is not 0, so we have 0, 3, and 4. And this has to be bigger than that. This can't be 0 So we've got to put the 4 here, and we've got to put the 3 there, and then 0 comes in here. What happens with this scenario? We've got 0, 3, and 1. This can't be 0. We've got 3 and 1 left. This has to be bigger than that, so 3 has to go there, 1 has to go there, and 0 has to go there. The question says, which one of the following must be true? Well, did you see what's the only thing that's similar between these two situations? That's not the same. That is the same. That's not the same. So what must be true has to do with 0. How many answers involve 0? Answer C. The 4th digit of the product code is 0. And that's different than telling nobody about the 4 wrong answers. Number 4. Any of the following pairs could be the 3rd and 4th digits respectively of an acceptable product code except. Look at that except. It's capitalized. When you're in the middle of the test, those capital words become invisible. So bring a highlighter to your test. And when you go through each section, just flip through and look for the capital letter words. They're in all the different sections, and they become invisible during the test, but they're really easy to see if you're just looking for capital letter words, and then you highlight them, and then you see it when you get to number 4. The 3rd and 4th digits. 3rd and 4th digits. Well, 0 and 1. We can switch around that 3 and 1. We can have 0 and 1. 0 and 3. We just had 0 and 3. Do you notice how A and B are essentially equivalent answers? And since we're looking for an exception, they can't be the exception because they're equivalent. They're part of a group. And that's one way of doing an except question, is trying to link the other answers up and see how similar they are. C, 1 and 0. Well, we just had 1 and 0. D, 3 and 0. We had that a couple of different ways. Answer E. 3 and 4. Well, we can't put 3 and 4 here because then there's nothing bigger. And we can't put 3 and 4 here because there's nothing bigger. So that can't be the 3rd and 4th. Remember what we said about looking for different answers? Answers A, B, and C, and D all involve 0, 1, and 3. And they could flip around. And answer E is different. It's 3 and 4. The nerds are nice people. The game's designed for insightful people. Don't be surprised if you see the insights that are built into the game. Number 5. Which one of the following must be true about any acceptable product code? Well, first of all, we look at the answers. Answers A and B have exactly. Answers C, D, and E have at most. And the question says what must be true. At most must be true. Exactly, we can say that's wrong, come up with an exception, but at most, it's like trying to fight Jell-O. You hit it here, comes out there, and they say, well, at most. And this is a must-be question. Do you remember our must-be number? Let's look for 2. D and E both have 2. There are at most 2 digits between digits 2 and digit 3. Well, here, we've already created an exception to that. That didn't have to be true. Answer E, there are at most 2 digits between digits 2 and digit 4. Well, 2 and 4 are right next to each other here. And in our first sketch, the nerds are nice people. They set it up so the 2 and 4 were as far away as they could possibly be. And that's answer E. The nerds are nice people. Testing for the public. Nonprofit since 1985. Nobody makes things easier.